The FNAF series is full of unknowns, mysteries that have remained unsolved for ages, that might actually have been revealed in subtle ways. So what tiny details did Scott Cawthon leave for us that may just solve the bigger questions we've had about the Five Nights at Freddy series? That's what we're exploring today. So, let's do it. In at 10, first animatronics. Some of the first animatronics built by William Afton featured claw mechanisms that were able to hide away items inside them. This, coming from the Faz Facts from FNAF AR's files, is one of the best Faz Facts that we got, because thanks to that line, we know that William intended on killing before acquiring Fredbear's Family Diner, since that was the first location, and the only animatronics we see have a claw mechanism are the ones from Sister Location. Baby is the only one we actually see use this claw, but with containment chambers being present in the others, we can assume the other Fun Times have claws or similar mechanisms as well, which means that the Fun Times were made before they opened the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location, hence why William was able to open Circus Babies so quickly after he learned that Fredbear's was going to close. Which means that if not for Baby's line of being on stage for one day, we wouldn't know when Sister Location takes place, or at least we would have to question it. So yeah, for those of you who thought that William decided to kill after his kids died, nope. In at 9, Vanny's intentions. Vanny isn't actually a killer, or at the very least, there's no real evidence that Vanny wants to kill Gregory in Security Breach. Vanny never threatens us directly, or at least never threatens our lives. She's never holding a knife or holding another weapon. So basically, I mean, like, she's definitely creepy and wants to kidnap us and possibly do other things, but she's not trying to kill us. And everyone is saying that Gregory is in the right and he's allowed to kill her because his life was in danger, but like, in the eyes of the law, that's not the case. Alright, self-defense only counts if you use the proper amount of force against your attacker, meaning not an excessive amount and not killing them when you're not being threatened yourself, at least your life's not being threatened, because, you know, making someone suffer and then die isn't self-defense, that's you being the bad guy. And I mean, like, giving robots the command to tear open her chest like they tore up Freddy is definitely going to be classified as excessive, especially because you used a machine to do it. Plus, I mean, he had the choice to leave and instead puts himself in harm's way, which also negates the self-defense argument. So yeah, okay, Gregory is the assassin. He's straight up an assassin, I'm just saying. And at 8, Cupcake. Chica's Cupcake features a unique set of servos and its own independent suite of software. This is another fast fact, and it was the foundation for my explanation as to where Shadow Chica could have gone in a previous video. The fact that the Cupcake is its own separate animatronic means that it could be possessed separate to Chica. So, if there was ever a reason for Shadow Chica, or if the Shadow animatronics are spirits that somehow got kicked out of their animatronics or whatever, Chica's shadow could have just hid in the Cupcake. But the Cupcake being their own animatronic is also something that we already knew, since in FNAF VR's parts and service minigame, you see the Cupcake jump off its plate and start running around before you have to catch it and put it back on the plate. The Cupcake also gets its own jump scare in FNAF 4, but that could have just been Chica holding it or throwing it at you, plus it's a nightmare hallucination thing, so we can't really count that as confirmation. And at 7, I Wanna Be a Rockstar. That's right, a white guy referencing Nickelback. Rockstar Bonnie was developed from the original Bonnie for use in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria franchise operations. This is yet another fast fact from FNAF AR that is actually highly interesting and not really of big consequence. The fact that Rockstar Bonnie is a development of original Bonnie indicates that maybe the original animatronics weren't melted down within the context of the games. Like, sure, Candy Cadet speaks of 5 things becoming one thing, and in the books, the Fun Times are created by melting down the endoskeletons of the original 5 animatronics to make Remnant, which is molten soul metal, but all those metals mixed together into one horrific mess ends up creating just a whole bunch of other crap. And it makes it go psycho, hence why they had to come back together into Ennard. But if the Rockstar animatronics are the original animatronics, just refurbished, maybe this isn't the case, and the FNAF 3 ending was actually accurate with the souls truly being put to rest. Which would also mean that Golden Freddy is at rest, meaning that the one you should not have killed wouldn't be Cassidy. At least that's how it seems for me. But this could also just be an interpretation of mine, and it's not really meant to actually say that with the fast fact, and it's just like, oh, it was based off the design of original Bonnie or something like that. I don't know. It's not really specific enough, but it does indeed sound like they're meant to be the same endoskeleton. And at 6, dangerous. In 1993, the most dangerous profession in the United States was actually night security guard. Okay, now the fast facts are just lying. I mean, like, it seems to be just a funny nod as to how many people have died in the Fazbear restaurants, because this isn't actually the case. The most dangerous profession from 1993 in the US was based on the number of deaths per 100,000, and it was fishermen. But based on the sheer amount of deaths overall, it was operators, fabricators, and laborers, with nearly 2,000 deaths. So if that was actually the most dangerous job, more than 1,959 security guards would have needed to die in the FNAF universe, which is incredible to say the least. However, if we're going off the number of deaths per 100,000 employed, over 159 security guards would have needed to die as well, which is much more reasonable, yet still a shocking number. But this is also not including the fact that the President of the United States is actually the deadliest job in the US, since a high percentage of those have been assassinated. So just like in an overall sense, it's the deadliest one. It depends on what lens you're looking through, basically. Halfway through to number 5, Crawling Ballerina. Scott has confirmed that Ballora actually has 2 ways that she moves. She's either gliding around on tracks, dancing gracefully, or when not on tracks, is forced to crawl around on all 4s to get around, like some kind of creepy demon spider aragog from hell. Come on! That's also confirmed that she can climb on walls like Mangle can, okay? Like, what the hell? Bro, please don't. Talk about facts that will keep you up at night. Now I'm just gonna be terrified that I'm gonna wake up and see Ballora just hanging on my ceiling, staring down at me, and then have her face open up and kill me. I already had a nightmare that I had some freaking parasite in my chest that they had to pull out, and there was like a 4-foot long tapeworm like looking thing that they had to rip out of my chest, and it left a giant hole in me. So like, I don't want this, okay? I'm gonna have nightmares again now. Thanks. Great. Hit it for time! The time scaling in this series has always been questionable. However, the real issue that I have with it is just how it's inconsistent in Security Breach specifically. Like, I understand that you need to like have the time progress to move the story along, but I played 8 hours of this game and somehow it wasn't 6 AM yet, which annoys me, okay? Because it's not the same as real world time. That remains true for basically any game, but then when you're like in the last 10 minutes of the game, like the home stretch before the daycare attendant gets you and you're able to escape, those 10 minutes are like 5 minutes or something, okay? It's supposed to be 10, but you give me 5. Like, at least give me the actual 10 minutes so that I can figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go, since this place is so huge and confusing to begin with. I feel like the goddamn maze runner. Like, I also wish that they had gone with my idea of having an ending where you just waited until 6. I wish that was an option, okay? Because you can't do that, because time doesn't move if you're not moving. Like, it's so weird in that sense. My entire playthrough of the game is like 8 or 9 hours, but I could have been playing it for 6 instead. But I can't, because time only moves when you do. It's like some weird super hot thing. In at 3, Afton family timeline. Okay, when you look at the Afton family and their timeline of events, you really have to take a minute to process it. Because William is the cause of every single one of his kids' deaths. Like, sure, he may not have done it directly, he might not have been the one that actually crushed the skull, but his actions end up resulting in all 3 of his kids' demises. Him killing Charlotte gets Fredbear's closed, which means he has to open Circus Babies, which made him dust off Baby and the other fun times, which were designed to kill in the first place, as I talked about earlier. Baby ends up grabbing and then crushing Elizabeth, resulting in her possessing that animatronic. He superpowered the jaw of Fredbear to use in the new Freddy Fazbear's, which ends up getting his youngest son's skull crushed. And I mean, you could argue that it was Michael, but again, he's not the one who superpowered the damn jaw. Why would he think that an animatronic is going to be able to crush a freaking skull? Do you know how many things I've had on my head that haven't crushed it? I didn't think Chucky from Chuck E. Cheese would freaking do it, okay? And as the suit technician, William knew what he was doing when he did that. And then he also gets Michael killed because, you know, he sends him down into Sister Location, which results in him getting stuffed with Enter. Then that's like, yeah, okay, I'm a giant purple mess now, so I'm gonna let myself burn in FNAF 6. So yeah, okay, overall, William's actions got all 3 of his kids killed just because he wanted to kill his friend's daughter, which is a whole other thing. That's a whole other can of worms that I'm gonna have to explore in therapy myself. But ultimately, in at number 2, FNAF AR. While the concept of FNAF AR is already insane, it only gets worse the more you actually look at things from an outsider's perspective. Imagine, if you will, that you are a character in in the Fazbear FNAF universe instead of someone trying to solve it, okay? And look at this game through that lens, because for someone in the FNAF universe, these dudes are freaking psychos, and it still works out for them. They're shipping out animatronics that they know are dangerous, okay, only for them to get rewarded with us literally paying for the animatronics to be shipped to us, and then we have to fend for ourselves as we try and, you know, not get killed by the damn things. And then they're also shipping out multiple different reskinned versions of the serial killer that ruined their reputation in the first place. He caused multiple establishments to close and burn down just by being there, and he cost the company millions and had to just... Come on! Like, did you hear that sigh? Did you feel my life leave my body? Okay? Like, what the hell? Why would you kill your prime demographic in your establishment and then ship out that serial killer? I'm not shipping out like clown versions of Ted Bundy or a toxic version of John Wayne Gacy to people. No, because that's in poor taste. But you're still shipping out robot serial killers to people and you're getting paid. What the hell? How? And finally, in at number 1, human masks. There was one particularly interesting email I saw from FNAF AR Special Delivery, and it was sent by our IT stalker Lewis and refers to Vanessa buying 3 realistic human masks. Lewis asks if it's for a screenplay, and unless that's a hint to what's going on with the FNAF movie, it's definitely wrong, my dude, okay? The 3 masks could be put over animatronic robots, which is my first thought, kind of like the Michael skin suit situation, where it would be like an endoskeleton but with realistic facial features and a thirst for blood. I don't really know what else 3 realistic male masks could be used for, okay, honestly. Do you have another explanation? Like, leaving them around to scare people? Covering them with blood? I don't know, maybe it's to like trick William into thinking she had Gregory? I have no idea, and I don't know why these masks were mentioned and then nobody seemed to care after it, okay? It's still a loose thread. It's a loose end that no one's tied up. So yeah, I wanted to bring it to your attention again. Please let me know if you can figure it out in the comments below. And if you want more things to be confused about, click the video that's coming up on screen, baby. Thanks for watching.